I suffered an aneurysm, so there was no warning, there was no headaches, there was no dizzy spells, no tiredness.
I was just in the house and I just collapsed in the house and fell into a coma.
It's one day this horse was acting rather peculiar, kicking ulcers.
It was just one day I was going in the shower, ready to go to work, and bang, I hit the floor.
All I can remember is saying, you crashed your bike, you crashed your bike.
And I got kicked in the head by a horse.
I was travelling on my way to work early one morning and obviously banged into the car, and that's when I went rolling, banged on my head a couple of times.
A lot of the people with brain injuries, including myself, you sort of feel alone in the sense that you've got a brain injury and you don't know anyone else with a brain injury.
When you have all these problems, you can, if you look at me, it doesn't look like anything wrong with me. And it's only when you speak to other people with head injuries, it's only those people who will understand. If you never had a head injury, you just, oh, I get like that sometimes. Or, oh yeah, I know what you mean. But you don't know what I mean. You don't get it sometimes. I never used to get it. I never used to get forgetfulness of, can remember what a TV remote looked like. That's just a tip of the iceberg.
I see what Headway does on a daily basis. I see the difference. We get so much positive feedback. You can't fail but to feel that you're doing a good job.
It is a fantastic charity for what we do, and I think that we're very fortunate, the drive and determination of staff, volunteers, to come together to be able to have one focus, and that focus is to unlock individuals' potential on a variety of things.
Headway Cardiff originally started back in 1985 just as a simple support group between therapists and carers, family members for people who were in Rookwood Hospital. It's grown up over the last 10, 20 years, and now we offer a day service for survivors of brain injury. We offer services to their family members and carers.
At work, it's given Ashley a newfound confidence. It's helped him mentally as well.
I'm under no illusion. I'm not the first, I won't be the last. There'll be another person taking my place of a head injury, getting knocked down.
Physical disabilities that are experienced are apparent to everyone, including the survivor. Therefore, the people around them have more understanding and empathy, which makes it easier for the family and the survivor to cope with them. Our day centre, every activity that we put on has a therapeutic value. For people who come to our day centre, they come once a week, and we are very often the only thing that is regular and constant in their life.
I think the first time for an individual it would be quite nerve-wracking, because it's having that social interaction which they haven't had for a while. The individuals that come to Headway, along with the staff and the fantastic group of volunteers that we have, make it a very, very comfortable place to come to.
It feels like a community, and I think we're there to kind of facilitate and help pull that community together, and I don't feel at all like, oh, the volunteers and the service users and the staff are separate. I just feel once we're there, we're all in there together to have fun and help each other out when they need that help.
Sounds like a cliche, but it's very, very true, is that we wouldn't be able to run the service or provide the services that we do without our team of volunteers. We have about 35 to 40 volunteers. The majority work within our day centre and are actually volunteer support workers.
A brain injury is a family injury. Her anxiety, she nearly found me dead. You know, so if I hadn't been coming here and getting on with things, she'd still be home looking after me. I just don't think I'd have got on with anything, you know? Like looking after the baby, things like that, that's massive to me. I do that now.
Since I've had the injury and everything like that, the hardest thing is there's no go in me. I feel like if I'm totally burnt out, I feel like if like if you were a car engine and just clapped out. That's the way I actually feel.
The first time I walked in there, I think I was amazed at the amount of people that were there looking for support. Because at the time when this happens, you think that nobody else has gone through what you've gone through. Oh, Leanne was a very, very bright, bubbly, happy, lovely, lovely girl, lovely mum. She put food in the oven, sat down and had a cardiac arrest. She was resuscitated by paramedics that came to the house, but it was surmised that she'd died for 6 minutes, which left her with hypoxic brain damage. Headway helped me enormously. I don't think I would have got through this if it hadn't been for Headway.
John was in hospital with heart problems and he had a cardiac arrest. It took the doctors about half an hour to get him breathing again, and the lack of oxygen just damaged part of his brain. Initially we didn't think that he had a brain injury, and I'd go in to see him when he was still in hospital and I'd say, "Have you seen the doctor today?" And he'd say no. It was only after a couple of weeks of him saying he'd never seen anybody that I asked one of the nurses, and she said he sees the doctor every day and physio every day. We suddenly realised that, okay, something wasn't quite right here.
So, here at Headway, do you know how long you've been coming to Headway?
No, something you can tell me actually.
A brain injury is a family injury. Her anxiety, she nearly found me dead, you know, so if I hadn't been coming here and getting on with things, she'd still be home looking after me. I just don't think I'd have got on with anything, you know? Like looking after the baby, things like that, that's massive to me. I do that now. But
so you go to Headway, and as much as, first of all, you might not like to speak to people with a brain injury because you're thinking, well, there's nothing wrong with me. I might have had something happen to me. But yeah, it's really nice to speak to people.
What I hate is when I'm in my wheelchair, like, and the person pushing me is whatever, and then they stop, and there's a person they know. The person will say hello to the person pushing me, but I'm in the chair, they don't even look at me. I'm like, hello, I'm here. And that is very annoying. But I hear that is a lot of problem. There are lots of people in chairs.
The first months or years will have you want answers to all your problems, and this is where you find all the answers to your problems, because all these people have had the same problems before you. Headway is a vital part of that recovery system, you know?
it's getting me out of the comfort zone, that's what this has done. Because I think for loads of people who've just had a brain injury, especially a brain injury, it's so easy to get out of hospital. You're in Cotton Wool in hospital, they're feeding you, they're giving you your tablets, you don't have to do anything. Then you get let out, and it's easy to stay in the house. You can just become reclusive. But with all this there, if you jump on the horse, you know, and take the ride, you're going to get somewhere. This gives me confidence to do things for myself now, which I can do.